Whew. Okay, let's keep the momentum up, Rosa. And so, Erika couldn't reappear anymore. At the very least, not within Rosa's range of attack. Erika put a lot of distance between her and Rosa, reappearing in midair. Erika's animal instincts made her turn her head slightly to the side just in time. Where her hair used to be, there was an odd shower of sparks. It wasn't magic. It was a real physical phenomenon caused by lead smashing against lead. To think that two bullets shot from different angles could have flown with impossible precision at where her head once was. Wait, hold on, what's going on here? Two bullets shot from different angles could have flown with impossible precision at where her head once was. Okay, for a second I thought that that those two bullets just smashed against each other, like right where Erika was. That would be freaking insane if that was the case. So that both of them hit and bounced off each other, like it happened. What the fuck is going on here? Oh, it's Kitty and Rudolph. Okay. Okay, I see what the meaning behind that is, I guess. The two of them spun their rifles in exactly the same way, at exactly the same time, reloading them in a way that put all Westerns to shame, then pointed them back up at where Erika was in the sky. Once again, their accurate shots plunged through the forehead of Erika's image, bouncing off each other like billiard balls with a shower of sparks. This time, Erika appeared far behind them. She had to admit it. She had been forced to escape to a place outside the range of those guns fired by humans. Then, the light from the moon was blocked. The place that she had fled to so rapidly exploded, sending chunks of rubble flying. A massive longsword had been plunged into the ground. It was Delanor's sword. Delanor! Erika had dodged it by a hair. But this bulky, brutal longsword was more of a cannonball, shaped like a sword than something for cutting it with. Despite the successful dodge, the blast of air pressure made her eardrums throb. Delanor was serious. She had seriously intended to smash Erika to bits. Oh. No. Don't think that, Delanor, come on. Delanor's hair bristled with rage. Seeing this expression on the one she had once called a friend, pinned Erika to a spot. Oh, yeah, Delanor is really pissed right now. The force of anger that welled from Delanor's whole body struck Erika. Yeah, you know, understandably so. Delanor cares a lot about Erika. Like, a lot. Yeah. Erika definitely needs quite a lot of correction right here. I feel like she deserves like another hit to the head with a suplex or something. Or rather, the sort of blasting wind from Delanor's massive longsword sent her flying. Which, you know, a thought just occurred to me, like throughout all this. Like, when I was making that special video, and when I was making the script and all that, yeah, I did make Erika quite smart in that. You have like no idea, like predicting what Noby would think and do and all that with ease. Except for, you know, the rubber and the vinegar thing. Like, that's the one thing that I doubt many people would think of on the spot. But other than that, Erika was made to look like really smart in that. Like, thinking of many ideas per second and predicting what Noby would do and what he would even say, like with the one of the oranges. And yet here we have Erika, like looking at her feet to see if her shoes are tied, or poking Mama Bear Rosa, like without thinking much of what she's saying. Like the arguments that she offered to Rosa, they weren't even that good to fight against. I mean, and you know, she's getting her ass kicked right here. Admittedly so, understandably so, there are many people around here, and Erika is just one person, so it's kind of difficult, but nonetheless, she's not doing great right here. Something tells me that I've hit Erika, I've hit Erika's head a little too much with that suplex. I kind of damaged her brain a little bit there for a second. Yeah, Delanor is still going, as Erika took leap after leap backwards to escape the bladed cannonball. He smashed apart the ground in spots where she had just been. So, it almost looked as though Erika herself was smashing the earth beneath her with each backwards jump. Once more, the great longsword split the air and pulverized the ground. However, this time, Erika was nowhere to be seen. Where had she escaped to? This time, Erika had broken the barrier of the Golden Land and landed on a ship whose bow... Again, I had to think a little bit there. Wait, what is the word here? Bow? Bow? I think it's bow in this case. I think it means something here, but I'm not sure what it was. It was barely in sight. Practically speaking, she had run away. Fully aware of this, Erika howled, her face contorted with humiliation. Back to where you started, Erika. Like, exactly 1 feet away from that, wooden hole that you made with your head there. And her shoulders heaved with her breathing, and she'd even forgotten to fix her hair. The scythe fell from her hand, and landed with a clank to the floor. And that sound brought her back to her senses. Oh, the warships that have flown into the Golden Land opened their gun ports one after another, and they all fired at once in a scattered mess of cannonballs. The hundreds of explosive rounds they fired would negate the concept of anything or person they touched. Smashed them into little bits and set them ablaze with flames. Okay, well, we're doing so great here. We're doing so great. Like, the humans and the fantasy creatures are doing well against the goats, like inside the Golden Land and all that. Erika was forced to go back. We just need to defend the Golden Land from the cannons. The battlefield full of riding goats became a fiery hell. Oh no. Cannonball smashed the arbor. The once beautiful garden maze was burned down piece by piece and the fleeing gold butterflies were drawn in flames, burning into nothingness like scraps of paper. This was no longer a battlefield where two sides fought for victory. It was just a confused hellish pot. The Golden Land was being torn apart. The once beautiful rose garden was filled with explosion craters, and its rose petals were scattered about without pity. Flying bits of flesh, blood, fangs, jaws, shrieks and half-crazed screams. And even amidst this hellish swirl, the goats and the dead continued to fight. As seen from atop the boats, this was, without a doubt, hell. When Erika yelled, the goats on the boats ran around frantically, and one by one, massive anchors hanging by chains were thrown from the ship's bows down into the earth below. Those anchors smashed through not only the ground, but the bottom of the Golden Land itself, digging in with their wedge-shaped tips.
Erika! Oh yeah, Beatrice-san. 何しろこの大混戦。あなたを見つけられず、途方に暮れておりました。
Beatrice landed on the front tip of the warship, facing off against Erika, who stood on the bow.
貴様は許さぬ。この場でわらわが討ち取ってくれるわ。
Battle jabbed with her pipe. He transformed into a beautifully intricate, long and golden sword. Oh.
いいでしょう。望むところです。
Alright. We're going for some swashbuckling between Erika and Beatrice. My god.
決着をつけましょう。
Erika threw her scythe up into the air. Oh, don't tell me. Yep, she transformed it into a sword. When it returned to her hand, it had become a sword similar to Battle's. The nearby goats crowded around Erika, trying to support her.
手出し無用です。それよりお前たちは怒りの巻き上げを黄金鏡を根元から引き裂いて粉々にしてしまいなさい。
Aye aye, sir. The goats saluted and rushed to the post. Several dozen ships had lowered their anchors, digging into the base of the Golden Land. Soon, they were going to pull them up and try to tear the Golden Land to pieces. No! Oh!
エリカ！貴様に我が最後の決闘の名誉くれてやる！
Yeah! Battle raised her sword, bowed in the ancient fashion, and waited for her due opponent. Erika kicked off her shoes violently and slowly walked up to the tip of the boat barefoot. Then, in accordance with Battle's rules, she bowed back. Alright, time for a duel! A duel on the prow of a ship that pierced the sky. Below, the crowded goats was being blasted away by the indiscriminate cannonballs, burned up and crushed in the panorama of this world's end. Even thinking about who among the Ushimiya family was still alright was now ridiculous. Yes, it truly was the end of this world. The end of the Golden Land. Oh. Ground to dust, filled with flames. The Golden Rose Garden was burning spectacularly, the air filled with a shower of burning sparks and gold dust. The ground, the base of the Golden Land, creaked as fissures ran through it. Oh no. All the ships started pulling up their anchors at once. Crowds of strong goats used all their monstrous strength to lift them. The anchors that dug into the Golden Land's base spread cracks throughout the entire Golden Land. Not just the ground, but the air itself was filled with cracks. and shards of gold fell down everywhere. The golden land's end was adorned with the flames of hell and striking gold fragments, with fire red and ephemeral gold. Atop the boat's prow, Dato and Erika looked down on this, their swords crossed and sparks flying between them.
すごい光景じゃないですか。
Come on, Beatrice.
ふさわしいと思いませんか。あんたの物語の終章に。
黄金鏡は終わるだろう。わらわも果てるだろう。だが我らが確かにここにあった事実は誰にも消せぬ。エンジェは至った。未来の魔女は使命と希望を持ち、もうじき旅立つだろう。すでに我らは成し遂げている。あいにくだな、フルドエリカ。この戦、すでにわらわたちが勝利しているわ。
A duel between the master of the illusion called the Golden Land and the witch who controlled truth. They were split behind them. The Golden Land was torn up. The catbox known as the Golden Land was ripped apart, and the nothingness below peeked out through the cracks. The scrambling crowd of goats fell through the gaps and were swallowed by the sea of nothingness. Nato's friends were also among them. They helped each other, stretched out hands to each other, intending to hold on to everyone to the very end. But that's such a fragile fantasy, and what romantic optimism it is to embrace it at the end of the road. The ground shattered and sank. It fell apart into the ocean of nothingness. None could survive. None could be saved. And this was destruction. As the friends fell into the sea of nothingness, they looked up one last time and prayed. And they prayed that the master of the Golden Land would leave proof that the Golden Land had indeed existed. However, Dato didn't look down at them. They wouldn't have wanted her to.
こここそは我らが黄金鏡、無限と黄金の魔女ベアトリーチェ、ここにあり。我らは知れど、それは敗北にあらず。そなたが生き証人となれ。その胸にわらわの切っ先にて我らの証刻みつけてくれようぞ。
さようならベアトリーチェ。このクソったれな無限ゲームもこれでおしまいです。地獄へ落ちろこの幻が。
Lambda Delta and Percasta's fight to the death had passed through its phase as a dynamic clash of fireworks. It was now a clash that was quiet and motionless. These two witches, who possessed power on an entirely different level, may have been truly equal in strength. The battle could only be resolved by mutual consent, if one of them lost the interest or found some reason for wanting to lose. Since both were putting their all into the fight, without yielding a bit, they were absolutely and completely equal.
Lambda Delta、あんたが味方でよかったわ。
くそ、もう少しなんだ。早く砂になっちまえ。ふざけた魔法人め。
Better got irritated and punched the magic circle, but there was nothing he could do except continue to watch over it. After all, the only way to dissolve it was by waiting. However, the pair of them still felt relief, if only a little. Lambda Delta really was strong. Even in a battle this spectacular, she fought on uneven footing. No, if I also took confidence into account, she seemed to have a slight advantage to Beller's eyes. She'll probably manage to buy them enough time. Angie would take the key and be able to return to the Golden Land. They just had to endure a bit longer. However, they had no way of knowing what Lambda Delta's fate would be after this. She had disobeyed the Senate, the highest level witches in existence. A brutal fate probably awaited her. However, even knowing this, Angie had to step forward into the future, without looking back. And that was the single duty given to her, the witch of the future.
お兄ちゃん、あれは何？遥か向こうから何か近づいてくるわ。
Huh?
まずいぞ。まさか敵の増援か。
Lambda Delta and Berkastel were glaring at each other, so they didn't notice. Heading towards them from the distance were several emerald green glints. That light showed that they were enemies. I guess that makes sense. There are still some cats roaming around protecting the place. It would make sense.
でも、ほんの数匹だけだわ。
It's as if, like, all this time while Ben Castell was fighting Lambda Delta, the cats literally did nothing. So I guess the cats actually do nothing, since Ben Castell was so focused on Lambda Delta. But,
あの程度なら、ラムダデルタの敵じゃない。
like, this is... All the cats so far seem like fish in school, giving the impression that they'd be terrifying as a group, but not much of a problem by themselves. However, there was something different about the lights approaching them now. They were approaching in a beautiful watered formation, like a constellation. But I quickly realized that this was something formidable.
我が巫女よ。
Oh, Featherin.
そろそろ鍵の準備が必要な時間ではなかったか？
And just by her tone, Bella was able to tell just how great a witch this was. The black cats that surrounded her in a graceful and systematic constellation were all wearing large capes with elegant designs. It looked as though great overlords from many worlds had been transformed into cats, leaving only their capes untouched. Cats with capes? What Bella imagined was quite true. That was exactly what had happened. These were the overlords from many worlds that formed Featherin's personal guard. Their bodies took the form of cats merely as a sign of respect to their master, who took the form of a human. These were entirely different from the pack of wild cats that circled Castell.
アウアウローラ。あら、もうそんな時間だったの？客を多少待たすのもまた、パーティーのもてなし方の一つではある。私はあまり好まぬのだがな。
As she said this, her eyes flicked to Lambda Delta. The latter... God damn it. Bowed hurriedly. There. Though Lambda Delta... Why does the... It's like in the last part, so Umineko tries its damnedest to keep throwing the word bow or bow like in front of me. Like it knows that's a word that I'm unexpectedly getting confused about. Though Lambda Delta grinned, she was also sweating with a bro. Now you're adding bro, huh? With a bro furrowed with tension.
久しぶりであるな、ラムダデルタ卿。ご機嫌うるわしゅう、ダイアウローラ卿。ここは今日をもてなすにふさわしい場所ではない。会場への道を間違えられたか？ならば私が自らパーティー会場にご案内しよう。それは光栄ですわ、ダイアウローラ卿。
Featherin Augustus Aurora, the legendary Great Witch. It is said that she transgressed the limits of a witch, becoming a creator, and that, upon reaching this forbidden plane, she was cursed with a deadly ailment. However, in life, she once turned her pet cat into a witch. They say that this second witch wanders the sea of fragments endlessly, searching for any fragment capable of reviving her master from the pit of death called boredom, if even for a moment. And the cat did revive her master, revive the sacred witch who had reached heights none should reach. And just as witches look down from a higher world and sneer at humans, calling them pieces on a game board, so she looks down from a world higher still, and sneers at the territories of witches, calling them pieces on a game board. If a witch's strength is measured by the height of the world they are capable of reaching, then she was like a witch come back from the realm of the gods, the one who had touched the highest forbidden heights and survived. Was there any chance of winning against her? No. Not only could Lambda Delta not choose to win, she couldn't choose to lose either.
我が巫女よ、友人と戯れるのは後にして、今は仕事をしてくれぬか。鍵の準備をせよ。わかったわ。途中でお使いを忘れてしまう天真爛漫さも猫の魅力である。
Okay, I really did not take into account Featherin here, like we are definitely at an even further disadvantage, like... So fuck are we even supposed to do?
そうは思わぬか、ラムダデルタキオ。
Dada didn't say anything, but hung her head though. From this position, it seemed that the key's seal would dissolve at any second. However, Benkastel would probably find Bella and Angie before that. Once those two got their hands on the key, they could leave this place immediately. But that was only if Benkastel and Featherin didn't find them first. Benkastel couldn't be allowed to move from the spot.
Game set ね、ラムダ。私は大アウローラ教の巫女よ。感激の魔女は朗読の巫女に保護を与えることを忘れてはいないわよね。
Well, good for you that you have your mommy here to protect you. Still keeping her head lowered, Tata gave no answer. The witch of Feathergoing gave protection to her reader, Mikos. Yolanda Delta attacked Benkastel, who was Miko. Then the Great Aurora, in accordance with her contract, would take that as an attack against herself, and respond accordingly.
取引しましょう。何をよ。バトラはどこに隠れてるの？素直に白状したら、すべて水に流してあげるわ。奇跡の魔女のあんたが、バトラごとき小さな駒を恐れるの？奇跡の魔女だからこそよ。あんな小石のようなやつでも、起こす奇跡があることを、私は侮らないの。その小石が今じゃ奇跡の魔女に大出世したものね。もう一度聞くわ。バトラはどこ？残念よ、ラムダ。それが返事のようね。
But now still turned her back on the Delta. Then, she told her master that she was leaving to prepare the key, and she started swimming towards the key room. If I let her go any further, she'll find Better and Angie. Better readied himself. This time, it was his turn to become a sacrifice. Alright. Even though he was nothing more than a single pebble, he could still put out an eye. A candy firework exploded right in front of Ben Castell.
ラムダ、あんたは本当にバカだわ。
ラムダデルタ。
You gotta be kidding me. Now she has to fight not just Ben Castell, but even Featherin. Like, this is insanity.
やっちゃったわ。
Like, you expect one shonen protagonist to fight one main villain of the arc. But she has to fight not just one, but another one, like, even more powerful than the last. It's like the equivalent of Luffy finally defeating Rob Lucci, but afterwards, he also has to fight Bartolomeo Kuma. Okay, I swear, I swear, I'm gonna be done with One Piece references, I swear. Like, don't blame me, blame Erika.
バトラ、エンジェ、あとは頑張りなさいよ。
And the Cat Overlords change their formation, becoming ferocious constellations that surround the Featherin. Then, each drew the most terrifying of magic circles from their respective roads, and began to chant.
私は少し混乱している。我が巫女よ、そしてラムダデルタ級よ。これはどういう余興なのか。ラムダは私が鍵を取りに行くのを邪魔したいみたいで。ほう、それはどういう意味なのか。
その意味がわかんないなら、フェザリーヌ、あんたちょっと酔っ払ってるんじゃない？酔いざましが必要なんじゃないかしら。
Lambda Delta acted as tough as she could. Her fingertips were shaking slightly.
巫女への攻撃は主への攻撃とみなす。そなたも知らぬわけではあるまい。
I guess so. I guess it is the equivalent of Rosa and Maria. You attack the little baby, she is gonna scream, and the mother is gonna come in to swoop in and protect her baby, I guess.
知ってるわ。そのルールによると、私はあんたたちとやっぱり戦わなくちゃならないわけだわ。
ほう、私の巫女がそなたの巫女に失礼をしたか。ならば詫びよう。しかし教えてはくれぬか。今はそなたは巫女を持たぬはず。そなたにはいつの間に巫女がいたというのか。
それがね、いっぱいいるのよ。30人か40人くらい。もっといるかしら。このラムダデルタ、相手が誰だろうと巫女に売られた喧嘩は全部買い取っちゃうんだからね。そいつらはみんな絶対のハッピーエンドを信じてる。
Yeah.
この絶対の魔女がそんな絶対を信じて頑張ってる連中をね、見捨てられるわけがないでしょ。
Heck yeah.
そなたの物語も嫌いではない。我が感激に値する。しかし今の私は感激者でなく出演者である。我が巫女の親友であることを知るから一度だけ忠告する。この舞台を降りるがよい。我が観覧席にそなたのための特別な席を設けさせよう。
あんたの物語と私が感激してる物語のどちらが面白いか考えているわ。
答えを聞こうぞ。
バトラたちの物語の方が100倍面白いわ。悪いけど今年の助演女優賞は私がもらっとくわ。あんたたち、最後の人気投票は私に入れなさいよ。
Yeah, no doubt.
最低でもトップ5よ。いいわね。
Heck, we could go for top 3.
どこ見て言ってんのよ。
Namnadata pretended to joke around. She calmly glared at the one weak point. If she had a chance for a single attack, then a 1 in a billion shot at victory existed. That horseshoe-shaped memory device floating around Featherin's head. Without that, she couldn't preserve her own being. Destroying it would be impossible. But if Namnadata could just jar it a little, she might be able to make it bug out. Huh? At least once in the past, Featherin's memory device had been damaged, and her personality and appearance had changed. However, she was aware of that herself, and probably wouldn't let that happen again no matter what. Huh. I wonder what the fuck this represents, though.
よかろう、ラムダデルタ卿。そなたの脚本が準備できたならいつでも参られるがよい。
脚本なんて簡単よ。たった1行。華麗でキュートなラムダデルタ様が悪の黒幕アウアウローラを一撃でぶっ倒す。
愚かなラムダ。そこまであなたが愚かとは思わなかったわ。
猫たちは手出し無用。ラムダデルタ教より献上されるこの勇敢なる物語に対し、私自らが褒美を取らせよう。勇敢なるそなたにふさわしい物語と結末を褒美に取らせる。
As if.
フェザリーヌ・アウグストゥスアウアウローラ
Namnadata summoned magical power from her whole body, and raised it in a mass above her head.
すまぬ。
And then, the world's time stopped.
そなたの脚本は採用しない。なぜなら。
Rather than time stopping, it was more like someone had stopped flipping the pages of a book. Oh my goodness. Like, Umineko truly is fucking with me. Now Featherin is using Zawarudo on Namnadata of all people. In this motionless world, closely packed letters appeared.
この先の脚本を記すのは私であるからだ。
They were the tale that had been written up to this very moment. Featherin Augustus, Aurora. Namnadata summoned magical power from her whole body, and raised it in the mass above her head. That was where the paragraph ended. In this frozen world, Featherin sat with her arms crossed.
参ったものだ。戦いを書くのは久しぶりでな。唐突にこのような展開で筆を預けられても困るというもの。
When I got stuck writing, I tried to write in reverse. In other words, instead of starting at the beginning, I start at the end and go backwards from there. That way, it's easier to set up foreshadowing, and I can write the story with my vision for the end in mind. My fucking god, this is literally the equivalent of an author's power to do anything they want. This really is similar to how in JoJo you have like Rohan with his stand, Heaven's Door, who can write anything they want into their enemies. Like, no matter what, it is impossible for the opponent to attack Rohan if he so chooses. My god. The only downside is that it is surprisingly difficult to write the climax without having set up the story first.
とりあえず戦いの顛末から遡って書いていこう。ラムダデルタ卿、そなたは私に敗れ生き絶える。
As Featherin said this, words were added to the massive group of letters that filled the frozen world. However, she was starting from the end, so there was a large gap between the new words and the old ones.
どんな姿でそなたは敗れるのであろうな。そなたの勇敢さにふさわしい勇壮な最後が良いだろう。こうはどうか。よくわからぬが、 何かに吹き飛ばされて本棚に叩きつけられ、獅子がバラバラに砕け散り、息絶えて暗闇に墜落して消える。なかなか派手な最後であるな。
No, no, not flashy at all. Me not like it.
よし、これでとりあえずそなたの最後は決まった。
The blanks were being filled up with the outline Featherin spoke of. At the same time, Lambda Delta's figure was wiped out. After crossing her arms and thinking again, Featherin pointed in a suitable direction. Spread eagle against the bookshelf Featherin had pointed at. He appeared Lambda Delta, who had stamped it into after something or other blasted her there.
さて、ここからこのような最後に至るまでの激しい戦いを執筆せねばならぬのだが、今の私は今日も見抜く通り少々酔いが回っている。その部分は今度改めて時間を設けてじっくりと執筆することにする。今はこれにて許せ。きっとそなたに気に入ってもらえる勇敢な戦いぶりを執筆することを約束しようぞ。
Featherin snapped her fingers. Lambda Delta had no idea what was going on. Before she could even blink, she was suddenly here, slammed against a bookshelf.
何よこれ。
She couldn't comprehend what it was that Featherin had killed her with. However, that was only natural. After all, even Featherin herself hadn't decided. However, Lambda Delta did understand one thing. She was already dead. Streams of blood dripped from the corners of her mouth. Then, lines of blood appeared on her wrists and ankles, her elbows and knees. She looked like a marionette doll of herself.
私何に殺されたの。
まったくだ、ラムダデルタ卿。良いアイデアがあったら聞かせてほしいぞ。
この化け物。
Still pinned against the bookshelf, Lambda Delta let her head slump. Her wrists, ankles, legs, arms, and neck, each of those broke off as separate parts, and the marionette shaped like earth lost its strings, falling in pieces into the depths below. Nothing remained. It was all swallowed up by the darkness beneath them.
化け物とは私を称える褒め言葉の一つであるな。